Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show. Today is the Friday free-for-all, and unfortunately, nobody can tell you what the Fantasmagorium Friday free-for-all is. You just have to see it for yourself. Let's go.
And we are live. Whoa. Phil. Okay.
Are you saying I can dodge bullets?
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you were going to tell me that if I learn the Matrix, then I won't even have to. Hey, Phil.
Okay. Had to make a quick adjustment.
Yeah, I know, we heard. It was pretty loud.
Oh, I'm going to cover that up. Not safe for YouTube poster in the back.
What? Was there nudity and we missed it?
Now you missed it.
Dang it.
Hey,
Steve, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's Friday. It's free for all. We're just going to have a fun conversation about The Matrix 4, what we know to date, which isn't a ton, but there's, I think, about 19 details that we're going to cover here when we get to it. At first, like we do every day, please subscribe, like, share, comment, do all the things, hit the little bell. We do appreciate when you do that. Also, if you'd like to send in a tip with your comment or question, please do so. www.streamelements.com/phantasmagoriumshow/tip. We also have a website. You can find our shows, a link to our audio-only podcast. Find us there, www.phantasmagoriumshow.com. You can, while you're there, you can also click on the shop and pick yourself up some merch. Get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie. Got some other little goodies there for you with our branding all over it. So you can help support the show and have something tangible in return. And we think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy. Oh, so, look who else is joining us today. Catherine. Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Cat's here. Now, I don't mean to diminish you at all, Kat, but I wanted to ask Steve, do you happen to have any of those tangible representations?
Oh, you know what I do? I have to stand up to kind of showcase it, but here it is.
I like that.
And then you can see the Fantasmagorium show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm buying.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, this one's cool. And I was actually, this is the first time using, obviously, this vendor and this print-on-demand company, and I really like the quality of the shirts that I got. I got two shirts. I got this one, and then I got a white one that just says the Fantasmagorium show. Mm-hmm. And the quality of the shirts was good. The actual printing of this shirt is amazing. The quality is really high. So, yay. I was, you never know until you kind of get a sample what you're going to get and what the quality's like. So I was really pleasantly surprised.
So now you're also a client of the Fantasmagorium.
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm not only the CEO, I'm also a client. Now if I can just get my hair to grow back.
Anyway, how are you doing today?
That's where the commercial that came from.
I know. I was just trying to move on because I didn't want to make any no. What was the name of that guy?
Hair Club for Men, but I can't remember the guy's name.
I thought it was Cy Sperling.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, I'm still waiting on my mug. We're hoping on that soon.
You got mugs. You get shot glasses. I'll buy one.
All right. We'll have to figure that out.
All right.
Yeah, the mug's coming. There's a little COVID hiccup going from the States to Canada for some reason, but we'll power through, and hopefully you'll just, if you don't get it tomorrow, just wait longer.
Exactly.
Just wait longer.
Anyways, so I guess I didn't grab news for today.
No news today.
We don't usually do too much news on Friday free for all. Because we're kind of doing a Matrix centric free for all. I figured we'd start there and then we can do whatever we want to after that.
Great.
Sound good?
Sounds faboo.
Everybody's in. I think that Richard might stop by at some point too. I know he has a lot of information about the Matrix, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
So the first things first, before we dive into all of this.
What is first?
First is, what do you guys know about The Matrix 4? Bill,
really
you go first.
I haven't really said much about it, really, other than, a lot of the main cast is returning, other than Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard too much about it, honestly. So
Kat, have you heard
I guess it's kind of a good thing, because I
Uh,
don't like when you give away too much. Oh, sorry, Kat. Go ahead.
I haven't heard much of anything either. I remember there was a supposed title leak back in January saying it was going to be called The Matrix Resurrections, but I don't know if that's true.
It'd
Yeah, I
be a
don't know
good
if that's
title.
true or not either. But yeah, I saw that too, and I'm like, okay,
Well, I think we covered it.
we did.
Yeah, I covered it.
And I think it's a great title.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of the devil,
and the
and the
devil
devil
shall
appears.
arrive.
This is what the devil does.
yes, he does. He rocks.
Hey guys, aloha.
Aloha and ahoy.
Richard?
Aloha.
New Hall.
All right. So,
Richard,
no,
not to dismiss you at all. Have you heard anything about the Matrix 4?
Literally, I don't think there's anything that that comes to mind. I'm thinking perhaps as we're having this conversation, a few little nitpicks or little tidbits will pop up. We have not heard much at all.
right.
Fair enough. Now, do we know if it's even filmed?
It's they're in the process of filming.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
Is it done?
See?
I don't know.
Well, not done, but filming is done.
Yeah,
I don't know if the actual
I don't think it's in the can yet.
in the can
Okay.
yet, like you say. So
I think we would hear it if they would make a big announcement because it is kind of a big accomplishment that they're even doing a fourth. So when they get it in the can, or at least ready for post production, we're gonna know about it.
Well, it is. I think it is in post production because that they did have, because they started filming early last year. They had a COVID shutdown. They resumed filming in like September, and then they finished earlier this spring, and they've been in post because it's still scheduled to come out in December. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
That's
December.
right.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't push it.
yeah, because originally it was supposed to come out in May, but if COVID had not happened, it would have come out in May 2021. But they pushed it back to December, and so far it hasn't shifted from the December release date.
Yeah. Cool.
I hope not.
That's going to be a busy month.
Well, so I got this from IndieWire. It's the Matrix 4 Guide. 19 details to know about the return of the iconic action franchise. Lana Wachowski, Keanu Reeves, Carrie Moss, all back for a return trip to one of the most iconic action franchises of all time. With the Matrix 4 fast approaching, IndieWire breaks down every major detail we know about the sequel so far. New updates will be added below, blah, blah, blah. So, as they get more information, they'll add to this list. But so for right now, we got 19 to run down. Let's just do it.
All right. Keanu Reeves coming in at number 19, I believe. Keanu Reeves left cast starstruck while filming. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II told The Hollywood Reporter that he was starstruck on set when Keanu Reeves arrived to film their first scene together. He says, "I remember Keanu and his first line," the actor said. "I looked up and there was Keanu and I said, oh shit, I'm really in the Matrix." And it was just Keanu in that voice. And the technology that Lana incorporated in the filmmaking camera rigs that I've never seen before. It was so ambitious. It was really interesting to be making The Matrix 4 at a time when the world was so warped and when reality was so distorted. It could creep in a little bit if you let it. That's
interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Do I need to know that about The Matrix 4? That's a very fascinating article, but yes, no, Keanu Reeves is a star.
Do you need to know anything about it? No, you don't need to know any of it. It's
You
just
have a valid
interesting.
point. I'm being catty. I apologize.
Lawrence Fishburne is at peace with not knowing why he's left out. Lawrence Fishburne is at peace with all the questions he's getting about The Matrix 4, despite the fact he was never invited to join the next installment of the iconic action franchise. I believe they're going to say iconic action franchise in every one of these things.
Oh, God.
Anyways, Fishburne recently told Collider when he was asked if he's getting tired of being asked about Matrix 4 questions. It would make sense that people would ask me that, so it doesn't get old. I'm not in the next Matrix movie, and you'd have to ask Lana Wachowski why, because I don't have an answer for that. Despite missing out on the Matrix 4, Fishburne is keeping his franchise work going by rejoining Reeves for the upcoming John Wick 4. That sequel is now in production.
Great. That's like, it's got to be story based.
It is, because we know,
is.
and we talked about on the show that Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is actually playing a younger version of Morpheus.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to that. And in like the progression of characters does mean the omission of characters sometimes. Hell, even if you look back at like the final episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Sorry, Phil. Like the last episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Anytime they show the far future, Troy's dead. It's like we just don't get older Troy. And so, not to equate Troy and Morpheus, but in the future, people die. So that could be effective towards Zion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, anybody else have any thoughts so far onto the list itself, or any responses?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I did find my review of the first Matrix, but I'm trying to process it now that we know what the other movies that came after the first one, and hearing about the fourth one.
Mhm.
I might share just a little bit of it later on to see how off or on the review was.
Oh, wow. That's something exciting to look forward to. Please render away.
Scott, you want to take the next one? Lana
Wachowski is returning. The Matrix franchise is once again in the hands of a Wachowski sibling, as Lana Wachowski serves as director and co-writer of the latest entry. Lana was behind the camera of the original trilogy alongside sister Lily Wachowski, who sat The Matrix 4 out as she was developing and producing the second season of the Showtime comedy series Work in Progress, during the same time when The Matrix 4 was shooting. So there we are. Many of the ideas Lily and I explored 20 years ago about our reality are even more relevant now, Lana Wachowski said when The Matrix 4 was confirmed by Warner Brothers. I'm very happy to have these characters back in my life and grateful for another chance to work with my brilliant friends. Warner Brothers Pictures Group, oh, great. I love it when sentences start with a corporation. Chairman Toby Emmerich added, "We could not be more excited to be re-entering The Matrix with Lana. Lana is a true visionary, a singular and original creative filmmaker, and we are thrilled she is writing, directing, and producing this new chapter in the Matrix universe." And I agree, although, you know what? I would feel better if they were both back.
Yeah, me too, I think. But, I mean, at least we get to one of them. I like the fact that it's basically she's taking work that and ideas that they both have been kind of cultivating and talking about over, the past 20 years. So that it's not like, one of them said, "I don't want anything to do with the damn thing." You know what I mean? At least that's the vibe I'm getting from that.
Right. Have we heard anything negative between them? Not at all, right?
Not that I have. No.
Well,
they're
they're sisters. There's gonna be bad blood.
There was, I don't know, rumors of it, but I don't know how much of it was true, so who knows?
Has anybody seen Work in Progress?
No.
Mm-hmm. Never even heard of it.
And that's because it's a Showtime. Didn't they say it's just Showtime series?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I don't have Showtime.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Unless anybody else has anything to add there.
No, big deal.
Okay. Keanu Reeves and Carrie Moss headline the cast. Well, newsflash.
Duh.
So we'll skip that one.
Let's see what it says. Chatted around the fourth Matrix movie originally pegged the project as a prequel centered around a younger iteration of Morpheus, mainly because protagonist Neo, Keanu Reeves, and Trinity, Carrie Moss, presumably died at the end of Matrix Revolutions.
Well,
that turned out. that turned out not to be the case. Warner Brothers announced let's spoil a 15-year-old movie. The Matrix 4 confirming Reeves and Moss would be back headlining the franchise as Neo and Trinity, respectively.
But how are they alive?
I guess you have to watch the movie to see, Scott.
He's the one.
Damn it, I hate that answer.
Right?
He's the one. That's why.
He's the one. Never thought it would happen, Moss told Empire Magazine about returning for a fourth Matrix movie. It was never on my radar at all. When it was brought to me in the way that it was brought to me, with incredible depth and all the integrity and artistry that you could imagine, I was like, this is a gift. It was just very exciting. Lana Wachowski wrote a beautiful script and a wonderful story that resonates with me, Reeves added. That's the only reason to do it. To work with her again is just amazing. It's been really special, and the story has, I think, some meaningful things to say and that we can take some nourishment from. So that's good. Everybody seems to be happy about having a job.
Well, yeah, and also let's not forget, Keanu Reeves was in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, right.
Not everything he touches turns to gold.
Correct.
I'm like, are you guys at all hesitant about this? Does it give you Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull vibes?
Oh, don't vex it.
Don't jinx
I'm
it.
not
Don't jinx it,
vexing
Scotty. Knock on wood.
I am preparing myself like a crash test dummy.
Yeah, I'm hesitant, of course.
You're always hesitant. I mean, if
we look at the history of the second and third one, weren't considered that great. I mean, I still like them, though. We're going to a fourth one now. We got to be hesitant.
Well, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I mean, that's another Matrix film movie.
Pregnant, awkward pause.
I think who wanted to go first.
Nobody wanted to get in the pool.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Like, who peed in the pool?
Curious, yeah, like Cat. I'm curious.
Cat.
Yeah.
Black
But
Cat,
I actually thought the second one was the best of the three. The third one felt too much like it felt like it was the second half of the other movie, or like trying to be rather than being its own thing. But I trust that what they're saying, like, they've been working on it for a long time, collaborating all those ideas, and like I mentioned before, it sounds like it was a legit scheduling conflict, which is why they're both not back, as opposed to there being any misgivings. And I agree, given the themes that the original trilogy dealt with, there's all sorts of stuff you can work with now in the 18 years since the last film. So, yeah, color me curious.
Well, and I am curious. I love I celebrate the entire Matrix trilogy. I celebrate the Matrix extended universe. The Animatrix is glorious and one of the best war movies you'll ever see when it comes to the robots versus the humans.
Like Big John Schnepp worked on that.
Oh, well then, hey, it was amazing and kudos. It is. I love the second one, although the second one does feel like an Empire Strikes Back cover song. The third one, I think, wraps up more satisfyingly to me than Return of the Jedi. I would say I like the third Matrix better than I like Return of the Jedi.
Whoa.
I actually liked all three movies. I never when I saw them, I thought they were fine. They landed perfectly okay with me. I didn't think the 2 and 3 were as strong as the first one, but I mean, that's a minor nitpick for me. I liked all three movies. I could see where people did have 3. I understood their arguments. I didn't share them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to 4. I mean, we'll see. It's not one of my most anticipated of this year, though. I mean, I'm curious to see it. I'll definitely go see the movie.
It's been flying under the radar, though, much that, this is when you said that we were going to be doing a Matrix 4 thing, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's. But Really? Are people anticipating this? I think that people are kind of.
Well, it's part of the reason I wanted to. I'm like,
I
we
think that's
put
a
this
good
thing
thing.
on the radar a little bit, because
Well,
it is.
Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show, where the conversations aren't even known by the hosts. Like,
Right.
subscribe.
What's the
There are
Fantasmagorium?
stickers.
Right?
I have no idea how to
Yeah,
spell
never heard
that.
of them.
Actually, my question was: are they going to use the number or numeral 4 in the title? Hopefully
I hope
not. Hopefully
What
not.
was it? They said,
Yeah, I don't
what was it?
think so.
Resurrections
Perfect.
or whatever.
Yeah, Resurrection.
M4TRIX. That would be great.
Do
Yeah,
what?
let's put the 4 as a.
I was saying I think they'll probably pick an actual title for it when it comes time for the movie to come out. Because another thing is that even though it's supposed to be on track for a December release, we still haven't gotten a trailer.
Right.
And that's like,
Same
who
as
knows?
No
They
Way
might
Home.
change their mind and push it back for the sake of not having it fall victim to the the day and date streaming release on HBO Max plan. Because if they push it
I
back,
hope they don't do that.
right? Because they already said that they won't do that again next year. So if they just push it back another 2 or 3 weeks, then they won't have to deal with that problem.
Yeah.
Well, and Kat, one of the things that we've been talking about on Martini's Gadgets and Guns is the fact that like the marketing is expensive, and
It is.
recouping that cost is insane. So maybe
True, but they also haven't really been marketing this film at all.
at all.
Yet.
No,
Mhm.
not yet. I mean, there's still 4 months, right?
Yeah, just about.
So we'll probably get at the 90-day mark. We'll get our first teaser trailer, and then it'll be a full court press, over the next 90 days. I would assume. But the carrying cost, man, they can't keep pushing this thing back. These movies are not, these movies are financed, and they got to, and every day that they're carried incurs them more money.
You ever see Goodfellas?
I have seen it. Have you?
F you, pay me.
Yeah, fuck you, pay me. All right, returning franchise actors. Keanu Reeves
Yeah.
and Carrie-Anne Moss will not be the only familiar faces to the Matrix fans in the 4th movie. Also returning for the next film are franchise veterans Jada Pinkett Smith,
Yes.
Daniel
Ooh, nice.
Bernhardt, and
Niobe.
Lambert Wilson. Pinkett
Really?
Smith
Wow.
stars
Ooh,
as
nice.
Niobe in the franchise, debuting in the Matrix Reloaded and reprising the role in the Matrix Revolutions. Character is gifted, blah, blah. We know what the character is. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much
like-
it. But it's nice that at least those 4 characters are coming back. We know they're coming back. Is there anybody that got left out of that you guys can think of that you were kind of hoping that would show up in this
Yeah,
part, like Agent Smith?
Yeah, Hugo Weaving.
I read somewhere that they might be bringing the twins back because they brought the Merovingian is in the movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I read that, but I read a source like it might have been on the IMDb page or something. It had their 2 names listed on some type of list for cast of Resurrections right alongside Lambert Wilson, but then I haven't seen it. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
They were a couple of the coolest characters out of the entire
Oh.
franchise.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was
Yes.
actually inspired by them in my Fear of Ghosts game. I created characters that could fight like them. It was so neat.
Yeah. Pretty
It
cool.
was really cool. It's like, and it makes sense too because of what they are, like those programs. So that was kind of cool. Very
Yeah,
unique
because
fighting.
they were all they were almost wraith-like, right?
Well, they were
Yeah,
called the Wraiths, weren't they?
Is that what they're called?
I don't think they had. I think they just called them the twins. They didn't
The
really have
twins.
names.
Yeah,
But
they didn't have
if
names.
they were to get cut and start bleeding, they just like did their ghostly phase thing to heal themselves and go through the floor. They did all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, I dug those characters.
Yeah.
They were
It pissed me off too because it's not fair, but none
Well,
of the
that
Matrix is
road
fair.
scene was just insane.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's nice
Oh
that
no, that
it changes it up a bit because I can only watch Agent Smith and Neo fight so much because I
Right.
thought the fight in the courtyard went on a little too long.
It did.
It's like I was getting a bit fatigued,
Yeah.
and it's like so seeing a different fight style and something really strange and unique was really cool. And I
So-
remember having the character posters for the twins on my wall for a long time until
Oh,
it wore
yeah,
out.
that's cool.
That was really cool.
Well, the twins are named Lenny and Carl.
Lenny
Are you
and
serious?
Nothing.
No,
So
Okay.
I just covered returning actors, Scotty, but there are new franchise actors coming into the film.
Okay.
Correct?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, look at you! I try. Look at that episode. I tried to fucking set it up, and you just didn't knock it down. Yeah,
Which one? Oh, right, new franchise actors. Hey, Steve,
Hello.
have you heard about these new franchise actors in the Matrix 4?
No, Scotty, can you tell us more about that?
Well, there are new franchise actors.
Awesome.
The actors new to the Matrix franchise and introduced. Can we just like clip that and just make that and go away?
Yes.
Send it to
All right.
Ben. He'll
We'll
clip
fix
it
it in
out.
post.
Send it to Ben.
Right. The actors new to the Matrix franchise and introduced in the upcoming fourth movie include Yahab Abdul Mateen II, Neil Patrick Harris, really?
Wow,
Jessica
okay.
Henwick, okay.
Ooh.
Jonathan Groff, Toby Onwumere, Max Remalt, Aranidra Ibarra, Priyanka Chopra, Andrew Caldwell, Brian J. Smith, Ellen Hallman, and Christina Ricci is in the fourth
Whoa.
Matrix.
Christina Ricci. Wow.
Nice.
Ooh, that's big.
I apologize to every other list of actors previous to Christina Ricci that I was like, moving on.
Totally
And then we got to
butchered.
the end of the statement, and I was like, and Christina Ricci?
Well, not only that, Jessica Henwick is awesome, the daughter of the dragon, from the Netflix.
I don't know if I've explained how much.
Priyanka Chopra as well.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I get it. You guys are excited
This
for
is
other actors.
neat.
I can't wait until Christina Ricci is in a
Pretty
Matrix movie.
This
Pretty
is
solid
getting
cast.
So it says none of their roles have been disclosed by Warner Brothers. None of their roles have been disclosed by Warner Brothers. For Christina Ricci, The Matrix 4 marks her second Wachowski project following the live-action Speed Racer movie.
By the way, if you haven't seen Speed Racer, anyone who is watching this currently, you should definitely go see Speed Racer. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Good movie.
It's fun. It's fun. You might get a headache but it's fun.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can go see it. You might have to stay in to see it nowadays. I don't know if it's playing too much.
Well, you're gonna have to
Too many
do
places.
something. It is past
It
go.
is. It's not
Collect
on
Speed
Max. It's
Racer.
not on
There
Max.
you go.
It should probably be on Max.
It
I don't
came
have
out
to
when I
worry
was at
about
the
that. I
theater,
have the-
so I had to screen it like 4 times in a row or something. I had to do the 24-hour of monitoring. So I was in there watching it 4 times in a row. I kind of got a headache, but it was fun.
What are you reaching for, Scotty?
He's reaching for his Speed Racer.
I'm
Racer.
reaching for my Speed Racer.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't have to worry about where to stream it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to
I hate
find. I tried to look for it.
I hate to boast.
On physical media?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I can't find it.
I figured that would be all over the place. I guess not.
Hey,
So yeah, that's awesome that she's this is her second time in Wachowski
Yeah,
project.
it'll be great to see her, in there. Neil Patrick Harris too. That was a surprise.
I could imagine her being a bad guy, assassin type character,
Yeah.
because she's usually such a sweetheart and everything, and
Mhm.
she's developing this new a whole new image for herself. I could see her being not necessarily evil, kind of like an Evil Lynn type of character, who she does most of the bad stuff and not
are we
so
still
bad
talking
after
about
all.
Christina Ricci?
Yeah, Christina
Yes.
Ricci, because I've
The
seen
only
some art for her.
The only question I have as to whether or not she's going to play a human or a program. That's all.
Yeah, right.
Like she could be Love from Blade Runner 2049, or she could be whoever Olivia Wilde played in Tron Legacy.
See, I kind of kept mine open. I was thinking, I don't know if she's going to be human or a program.
Oh,
I could definitely see her being a villain of sorts, or at least a badass female.
Yeah.
Do
We
we
shall see.
think that maybe that's how Neo and Trinity are back? Maybe they're not real. Maybe they're programs. Because
Interesting.
given how the third movie ended, they knew the terms of the peace weren't going to last forever. Technically, the machines would have no incentive to keep the peace anyway, because they already got what they wanted out of it. So, if they wanted to, the machines could have always, made their own program, more controllable version of Neo. So they would not have the issue again of him not because the architect was so confident that Neo was going to go reboot the Matrix, and he didn't. So they may have been studying it, taken the best aspects of him, and made their own program version of him in Trinity,
Like
perhaps.
Mecha Godzilla.
So the theory that I've been hearing around the interwebs is that basically this new movie is going to show that each of the prior 3 movies were basically levels. So after the first, they leveled up and they leveled up and they leveled up, So that was an interesting theory. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but if that is, you could see how you could just eventually ad infinitum you could go level up, right? But that's an interesting take. I don't know, like I said, it's just fan theory at this point.
Well,
But
and
it's an interesting one.
Also, does anyone really consider The Matrix to be a gamer movie or a video game movie?
No.
No,
It's not.
I think it's I think it's more of the
Well, I think he means
simulated
I think
reality.
he means level up in the sense that there had been like 6 different iterations of the Matrix by the time the first original trilogy took place. In that kind of way, it's like every time you're getting a new version of it.
Right.
And
It could be another iteration.
I just figured that with Neo being able to express so much choice that his predecessor did not, that would prompt the machines to want to try and, how do we troubleshoot this problem so we don't have this issue again, kind of thing.
Right.
But who knows? It's
I-
spitballing.
Yeah, who knows? It may, for all we know, it may just continue. It just be a continuation, of what we've seen so far. I don't know.
How
But
many levels?
thought it was
How
pretty
many levels of a
interesting.
simulation can you have? Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Presumably a lot. Infinity, right?
Go on.
There's no going into the past, says Keanu Reeves. There is no official plot synopsis for The Matrix 4 yet, but Keanu Reeves has teased that the love story between Neo and Trinity will continue to be the backbone of the story. The original trilogy ended with Neo's presumable death, or as Reeves put it in an interview last year, things looked a little dire for Neo. And Trinity died as well. Science fact. When she was impaled by debris after their hovercraft crash.
Spoilers.
So yeah, no, she dead. She dead.
She gone.
Trinity and Neo finding their way back to each other after years apart prevent some kind of evil threat that seems like a natural entry point for the Matrix 4. Reeves has described the screenplay as a beautiful script that is a love story. It's inspiring. The actor added, "It's another vision of a kind of wake-up call, and it has some great action. All will be revealed." When asked if The Matrix 4 would be a prequel and show events from before the original 1999 movie, Reeves only provided this tease: no going into the past. Although he probably said it more like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that actually makes me happy.
Yeah, no, me too.
Let's go forward. Let's tell new stories. We don't need to. They don't need to bank on what they already have. It's already there, right? They don't need to live on what's already come before.
Steve, can I meet you at camera 2?
Sure.
Hey, have you noticed the Richard and Catherine? They both have like new
Gone.
avatars and stuff.
Looks
Yeah.
like boobs.
But it kind of looks like records. It looks like silver
it does.
records.
They
So
do.
I was wondering whether or not you felt more comfortable as a DJ with the discs, but
With the discs. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I
Little
thought
bit.
it looked more like eyeballs, like we were literally staring at you.
Two
Pervert
turntables,
in me,
microphone.
pervert in
pal.
me thought it looked like boobs, but okay.
Oh, it's the Rorschach test of
Yeah,
Of
boobs.
course, Black Phillip Alvarez, the Texan, comes in hot, coming in hot. All right, cool.
Demonetized. I'm
Just from
sorry.
now on, I'll just chime in on videos, and all you'll see, my glasses will be like my eyes.
The glasses. Yeah.
I kind of like that look.
No, but the thing is that we'll continue to ask you questions. It'll be like, oh, Kat's still there. Anywho,
So next on the list is it will change filmmaking again, says Jessica Henwick. Neil Patrick Harris stirred up buzz in September 2020 by suggesting Lana Wachowski was changing up the visual style of the franchise for the upcoming 4th outing. Fans are waiting for the footage to drop to see what he means, but in the meantime, cast member Jessica Henwick said Wachowski's filmmaking will change the industry. That's a bold statement. There's definitely moments on the set where Yahya Abdul Mateen II and I look at each other and we go, Matrix 4, those pinch me moments, Henwick told Comic Book in 2020. Lana Wachowski is doing some really interesting things on a technical level in the same way that she created a style back then. I think she's going to change the industry again with this film. There's some camera rigs that I've never seen before that we're using. That's probably all I can say for that. So it looks like she's doing some innovation, which is always welcome for me.
Oh yeah.
Makers innovate.
Oh no, we're back in the air vents.
What the hell is that?
It's
I
Phil.
know. It's me again?
I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I always assume it's you.
We know that
My
the
friend,
Wachowskis are very innovative. And everything that they've done has been so inspirational, so out on the edge. Just everything is so wild, and it's amazing to have filmmaking team like this or filmmakers like this in general. I always, though, am still hesitant because they're making such bold claims.
Yeah.
We have not seen anything yet. I do have faith in them. I need to see stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. The John Wick movies are doing the same thing, with the way they film action scenes. So it's a big head on their shoulders with this movie. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it. If they say it's going to change, with bullet time with the Matrix, so who knows what they're going to bring us this time.
Well, the bullet time, like the first Matrix came out of nowhere. It was quite literally that. First of all, the marketing was beautiful in terms of no one can tell you what it is. You have to see it for yourself. Amazing. Mm-hmm. And then when you went and saw it, you got one of the best action movies that was one of... Like, if you weren't familiar with anime action before The Matrix, then you sought it out after you saw The Matrix because you found out that it was one of the influences. It's an amazing film. And so with this one, I kind of feel like they're pointing toward, like, Babe Ruthing it. And sort of just like pointing and saying, no, I'm going to hit a home run. Yep. But they're keeping it under the radar so much that it's like, okay, it was a sneak attack the first time. I'm okay with The Matrix 4 being a sneak attack the second time as well.
How could it be a sneak attack, though? Because
we're talking about it, but there's no marketing for it. They really haven't pumped this up. And people are more anticipatory of things like Spider-Man No Way Home or Dune than they are for this. And like
this reminds me of Avatar 2. I'm getting similar vibes as in because there's the promise of you're going to be amazed and all of this and all right, just give it to us.
Yeah.
Well, I remember being in an old movie group where it became a running joke that Avatar 2 is just the movie that will always be delayed and delayed and delayed and never come out. Because they keep saying that the innovative in that film is underwater filming. So when they say that The Matrix 4 is going to change filming again, they may have come up with a new type of innovation that we just haven't heard of yet. Now, whether that's an innovation you'll see on screen or if it's something more behind the scenes that you'd have to watch a making of documentary, we'll find out.
Yeah, because it seems like she was Jessica Henwick was talking about, and also Yaya was talking about the same thing, that the rigging. So the camera rigging was different, which is cool because we probably will notice it in the film, but then you'll really get a behind the scenes look in the behind the scenes, obviously.
Well, Steve, even you, we've talked in the past about stagecraft for Disney and everything. Perhaps what they're doing here is a version of that because everybody wanted to have their own,
I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing a lot of in-camera rendering and in-camera editing via that stagecraft process where they're using LEDs, green screen replacement technology.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doing away with green screen.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
As somebody who was trying to build a studio of that, I have intense knowledge of that, and it's amazing the technology that's out there.
We should start a Kickstarter for a Truman Show.
I know, right? I don't know why, but sometimes they do this. they actually put this. Why isn't Morpheus back? Well, we already covered that once. I don't know why you had to cover it again. So
Well, because they needed to specifically discuss
19
Morpheus.
instead of 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's we can skip that one and go to the
Well,
next one.
Morpheus may be back. It's just not Lawrence Fishburne.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Well, but again, I think that may be something that informs the story itself. Like if we get Neo and Trinity back and we're going to get Morpheus back, then I think they're going to be representations. They're not going to be there. They're not the humans. They are the programs. They are the next evolution. In my anticipatory, I'll bet you $2.
In your head canon?
In my head, well, no, I haven't seen the movie, and I know that's
I kind of got to
rule.
go with him on that. Yeah, I don't really see why we need Neo, any of them back.
Yeah, you really don't. It's just for what?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
because the stories are infinite.
it only makes, well, and again, I haven't seen the film. I don't know what it's about. We haven't seen any marketing material, and no one has even teased what the soundtrack is going to be. So this could be, I want this to be the Matrix Resurrections, and I don't want it to be the Matrix: A New Legacy.
Oh God!
Well, I think if that is the title, Resurrections, that would definitely tie in with the heavy Christian themes throughout the trilogy.
Well,
Particularly
yes.
the whole Messiah thing with Neo in the third film.
What's interesting is my article from 1999 is not necessarily Christian. Actually, I kind of go more into Buddhism and
That too.
other types.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other types. I mean, it is definitely spiritual.
Well,
I
shall
wouldn't
we?
say Christian, though.
Yeah, it's got all sorts of spiritual stuff in there for sure.
I'm gonna have to check with Mr. Carlson, but Steve, do you want to? Or sorry, the Richard, do you want to treat us to your review of The Matrix from 1999?
Maybe read just a little bit and then post some of it, because I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you want me to go. Literally,
let's see, the red pill or the blue pill.
I was very much into studying different religions and spiritualities back then.
Do you have it
back
do you have
then,
walked
just read it.
into a thesis? Do you have a thesis?
Well, I used to publish a magazine, Nymphs and Satyrs, and
Nice.
yeah, that's Andy Warhol on the cover. And 19, The Matrix. Where is it? The Matrix movie review and philosophy. So,
Would you care?
but I cover like the soundtrack and stuff. So I'll just read a little bit, and we can put the rest of it up there.
Sure.
Let me just come back in a second. You guys talk for a second. Let me turn on my lights and everything.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I did. So
scheduling conflicts prevented the return of Agent Smith. One actor who was invited back to the Matrix franchise was Hugo Weaving, who starred in the original trilogy as the villainous Agent Smith. Lana Wachowski tried to court Weaving back to the franchise, but scheduling conflicts with a stage production and the pandemic made it impossible for the actor to reprise his role. So basically, it's just kind of the next little bit is just Weaving saying that he couldn't make it. I'm actually happy about this. I think I've had enough of fucking Agent Smith in the first
voice
movies.
Well,
I'm just done.
Given how the third movie ends, like the main conflict is that because Neo broke him free of his programming in the first movie, he's copying stuff constantly, and so when he finally does win, that has a really great dramatic finality to it. And to just say, "Oh, he's back," it's like, it's like, okay, it's one thing if you're going to bring Neo back, and granted, they're going to have to do a good job to sell that convincingly. Same with Trinity. But if you're going to bring, Agent Smith back on top of that and just renew the same exact story, it's like, no. It completely undercuts the best parts of the third movie, which didn't have too many good parts in it.
Well,
I think it would be too much fan service.
Son of a bitch. No, but even then, the entire dramatic weight of the cooperation between the machines and humanity is based on trying to eliminate Agent Smith. He dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Like,
anybody
the
can be
end of
Agent
the
Smith
Matrix.
now.
Even if the Matrix 4 is good, bad, a continuation, however you're going to view it, whenever we get to view it, once you get to the Matrix 4, it's like, yeah, no, there is no reason. Can you imagine how angry would people would be if like, I don't know, Niobe shows up and says, I don't know how it happened, but somehow Agent Smith survived.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point I raised earlier, is that at the end of the third movie, because Agent Smith is gone and Neo's dead, there was really no incentive for the machines to keep their promise at the time. I guess they just did because they were trying something new. But like the architect says, this peace will not last forever.
Don't forget, no, it won't last forever, but also those who want to be awakened will be awakened.
Will be awakened, right?
And that makes sense because you wouldn't want problem people like that fucking up the Matrix.
Right.
Exactly. And the slave, but don't forget, there are a lot of human slaves who really enjoy being human slaves.
That's right.
So I don't even know where this can go now that I've thought about that.
You know, and we had a character that wanted so badly to get back into the Matrix that he fucked everything up.
It's
for
better
everybody else.
better than eating bowls of snot.
Right?
He wanted the steak.
Yeah, he wanted a steak.
Wasn't real.
Scotty, do you want to do the next
Joey
one?
Pants.
I do. Hang on just one second. And yes, absolutely, Phil. Big
Joey
ups to
Pants.
Joe Pantoliano.
Mhm.
Love that man.
And,
Me too, man.
As far back as Risky Business.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
The Matrix 4 co-writers are David Mitchell and Alexander Hemon. I assume it's French, or He-Man. Lana and Lily Wachowski were the sole screenwriters on the first three Matrix movies, which makes the Matrix 4 the first installment of the film or of the movie franchise to be co-written by outside screenwriters. Lana co-wrote the Matrix 4 with the Matrix 4 script with authors David Mitchell and Alexander He-Man. David Mitchell is best known as the author of Cloud Atlas. Oh my stars, this is going to be excruciating. I know, we'll talk about it after. Which the Wachowskis adapted into a cult film favorite epic in 2012.
There's a C word, Touche.
Yeah.
There we are. Alexander He-Man, best known novels are Nowhere Man and The Lazarus Project.
Both are good.
Both Mitchell and Heman have worked with the Wachowskis as writers on the next Netflix series Sense8.
So Sense8 was awesome. I actually really like that series. I know it got a lot of people panned it, but I liked it. The Lazarus Project, really good book. So I'm happy that we have at least one writer that I feel happy about. Not sure about Dan Mitchell. Wasn't crazy about Cloud Atlas, but
I love Cloud Atlas. That was an excellent movie, very well written book as well.
I agree. I've not read
having
the
him
book.
involved is good news for me.
Yeah, awesome.
Cloud Atlas was condescending.
This is as I'm reading my notes, my little thing here, I didn't know about Cloud Atlas at that time when I wrote this. Now I'm reflecting, and you'll see Cloud Atlas is very similar to the Matrix in certain ways. I'll bring up some possibilities when we get around to it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's beautiful.
Sure.
I've never seen it, but okay. Yeah.
Don't, dude. Actually, do see it.
Yeah,
So I can't break my own law, so I can't say nothing.
Absolutely, and I
it's worth watching,
apologize
for sure.
It was a knee-jerk reaction to say don't. That was my mistake, and I apologize.
A new cinematographer joins the franchise. The Matrix is getting fresh blood behind the camera, as John Toll is serving as cinematographer. Toll is a 2-time Academy Award winner for Best Cinematography, thanks to his work on Legends of the Fall and Braveheart, 2 absolutely epic movies. And he's frequent collaborator of the Wachowskis, having shot films Cloud Atlas and Jupiter Ascending. Maybe I was getting those two mixed up. Cloud Atlas is a good
Jupiter
one.
Ascending
Jupiter Ascending is the kind of...
Cloud Atlas is the one where you have like 6 separate storylines taking place in like 4 or 5 centuries.
Okay. I
at
like
the
that
same
movie.
time, or I mean, in the
Right.
yeah,
That
it's-
movie I did like. So I was getting
Okay.
those confused.
Yeah, but that movie understandably failed because it was like some of the most atrocious marketing I've ever seen for a movie with a Halloween release date weekend. It's like what is?
Yeah, that was weird.
Tom Hanks playing a caveman, among other things.
Yeah.
An Irishman, an
Hugh Grant is the
unconvincing
cannibal leader.
Cockney man.
We played like 4 or 5 characters from what I heard.
No.
So.
Cloud
Yeah,
Atlas,
everybody did,
a lot
yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
See, it's
Well-
really fun that while we talk about the Wachowski siblings and their films, that we don't, we haven't discussed that Jupiter Ascending movie.
Yeah, I know.
I tend to be more positive around these parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but still pointing out flaws.
It's the kind of movie you
not
talk about
outside
on
of the
my-
norm, like that. I honestly haven't seen it. I was shooed away by many people saying no, and I like Mila Kunis.
I watched it.
I'm
It
much of a
wasn't.
charming Tater fan though.
I didn't think it was of the dumpsters fire that everybody tries to make it out to be, and maybe it is for them, but it certainly wasn't great
Okay.
or even really good,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Anybody else have any thoughts on Jupiter Ascending?
It
John
blew.
Bean is in it. Does he die?
You have to watch the movie, Scotty.
No,
No,
son of a
no
bitch.
spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah, but
I didn't like him.
John Bean always dies.
John Toll's
It's like
additional
50-50.
blockbuster work includes Marvel's Iron Man 3. The original Matrix trilogy was shot by cinematographer Bill Pope. But he revealed last summer that working on the 2 sequels was a punishing experience. Oh, yep, he wasn't invited back.
Silence.
Silence. Scotty, you
Enjoy
want
the
to
silence.
I was going to talk about the music by Tom Twyker.
Yeah, you should.
Or Tickwer. The Wachowskis and German film director Tom Tykwer have a rich history together as they co-wrote and co-directed Cloud Atlas, director, and then collaborated on the Netflix Sense8. Everybody else seen Sense8?
No, I've none.
No.
It's good. I like it.
Cool.
That's it.
Created by the Wachowskis and co-directed by Tykwer. Filmmaker Tykwer is the composer for The Matrix 4, replacing the original trilogy's composer Don Davis. Tykwer is often a co-composer on his directorial efforts, from Cloud Atlas to A Hologram for the King. Has anyone seen Hologram for the King?
Nope.
I have a digigal copy of it, but I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
What is it called?
Just curious. A Hologram for the King.
It's like Tom Hanks plays this guy works for some type of corporation, and he's going to either Yemen or Saudi Arabia or Dubai, somewhere around there, to bring in some tech. I can't remember what the story is about. I can't even remember how I came to have a digital copy. I think maybe a friend just gave it to me or something, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer, but I haven't seen.
Now,
the
his
movie.
next movie I have seen. Run, Lola, Run.
Run, Lola, Run.
I love Run Lola Run.
I
Yeah.
love that movie. That's a good movie.
And
Perfume,
Perfume,
the story of a murderer, and
Perfume,
much
yeah.
more.
That's good too. So he's done some really good work. But I didn't realize he was also a composer. So yay.
That's cool.
We're gonna get music by him in this new one.
My anticipation has gone through the roof now. Run Lola Run is brilliant. Perfume is a near masterpiece. Wow, I've got to check out the other stuff that he's done.
Well, and also
That's the new guy, right? That's the composer for Matrix 4, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, yes, but also the co-director of Cloud Atlas as well. And I think that as much as I have distaste for Cloud Atlas, I do think that it is a lyrical film that it's almost composed, and it doesn't click with me.
Are you
No
sure
harm,
you
no
know
foul.
which one you're talking about, though? Because
Cloud Atlas,
yeah. Which one is Cloud Atlas to you?
the Tom Hanks one with Halle Berry throughout. Ed Broadbent is
Okay,
there.
okay. Yeah. All right.
It just, the whole thing, I don't know. I know what it was going for, but I find it
My wife hated it, by the way. Yeah. I enjoyed it. She didn't like it. So.
Well, are you guys together still?
So
That
the next
explains
story
That explains it. There are two types of people in the world, Richard.
here's how you
There
sum
are
up that
people who
movie.
like Neil Diamond, and there are other people who don't.
No, the easy way to sum up that movie for people who don't know how to describe it is say it's the one where Hugo Weaving plays Slash.
Yeah, right.
Slash. Ooh, Guns N' Roses Slash. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I gotta rewatch this. Yeah, we should
Need to watch it.
That's
Period.
how he looks when he's in his devil outfit in the storyline in the far future with Tom Hanks and Halle Berry.
The future is freaking amazing. The vehicles, the full on. If you guys haven't seen the ending or whatever, not necessarily the ending, but
Of
the
Cloud
future.
Atlas?
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not saying anything about the production design. I'm just saying the story is a tangled mess of a cat's cradle that I threw away 2 weeks ago underneath a bunch of stuff.
What's really weird is when I start reading my little thingy here, I'm seeing so many parallels with Cloud Atlas that I was coming up through the Matrix, though. I
got the book on my shelf and I got the Blu-ray on my shelf.
Nice.
I might have to buy it. I might have to blind buy this. Or bag this movie. As
A cat in a bag.
All right, what's next, guys? What's next?
A new Wachowski collaborator steps into the editing booth. Zach Steyenberg was the editor on each installment of the Matrix trilogy, winning the Academy Award for Best Editing thanks to his work on the first movie. Lana Wachowski has brought in a fresh editor for the Matrix 4 with Joseph Jet Sally. Although the editor is no stranger to the world of the Wachowskis, Sally edited 24 episodes of the Netflix series Sense8 and then worked with Lily Wachowski as an editor on 7 episodes of Work in Progress. The Matrix 4 marks the biggest feature editing job of Sally's career so far, and it should prove to be a huge stepping stone into Hollywood for the rising post-production talent. So it looks like we're getting a new editor, which, is kind of, risky. The editing obviously is a major part of these movies, how they're put together and how they're spliced together, and the flow of the movies. So
this could be part of their whole new image, the look that they're going for.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, with that, pushing the boundaries and technology and innovating.
Yeah, the editing is going to be the selling point of this movie.
Yeah. So hopefully he's up for the task. I like the work. Obviously, the work in Sense8 was great because that series is really good.
That's cool. I gotta check that out.
I think we lost Kat. Oh, we didn't lose Kat. Tony jumped on board. Hey,
So
Tony.
we have a
Welcome.
Bunyan
And a Snipe.
and a Snipe.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, it's too bad. Inside
Welcome
joke.
to the jungle. We have fun and games.
We got everything you
I know
want.
the inside joke Richard's referring to as well.
Do what?
I know the inside joke you're referring to as well, Richard. You're right.
Okay, moving on. Stream Killer. Moving on.
So, Bunyan, we are currently discussing The Matrix 4 and all the things that we don't know.
Oh, and the confusion over the horribly confusing title because the first film, of course, was called The Matrix, and this one is called Matrix. So obviously, that's the same thing.
Well, is it like a reboot of Commando?
Yeah. This one's just called The Commando.
No, but John Matrix. He was.
I know. I was being an arsehole. Sorry.
You have to run into these jokes. Don't veer away.
Well, who's going to be in the remake? Who's going to be in the? It's going to be the guy. It's going to be the weird guy. It's going to be who today?
You're a funny guy, Sully. You're a funny guy, Sully.
Who would actually be in Commando now? If they remake Commando nowadays, who would it be? It'd be someone like Seth Green, right?
No, but
That's
we'll
the funny
discuss
guy?
all this. We'll discuss all this on our Commando show. We're in the middle of a
Yeah. Let's get back to you.
Only Hollywood would be The Rock.
Speaking of the Matrix,
Comedy, as I recall.
Gina Torres is confused by her omission from The Matrix 4. Another franchise actor not returning for The Matrix 4 is Gina Torres, although she's not as calm about her omission from the movie as Lawrence Fishburne is about his. Torres has
Apologies, who is Torres?
I know,
She's
like,
married. She's married to Lawrence Fishburne.
Is she?
She played Cleopatra in Xena. She was in Firefly. She's had a long career.
No, but I think
just trying to think of her character in The Matrix.
Character was. Yeah,
well, if you'll allow me to read on, Torres had a small supporting role in The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions as Kaz, widow of the Nebuchadnezzar's former pilot Dozer. Kaz ended the original Matrix trilogy alive, while characters Trinity, Neo appear to die. And yet, Trinity and Neo are coming back for The Matrix 4. Well,
here's the thing. Joey, oh my God, what's he doing? He's not doing that, is he? Oh God, I thought he was doing that. Anyway, I thought he was flossing there for a moment, but he's not. That's something else, isn't it? Anyway, so Joey Pants also wants to come back, even though his character died in the first film.
Right? No, Joey Pants, you can't come back. Well, I guess
if Black Widow has taught us anything, no one's ever really gone.
They might all come back. You never know. It might surprise us.
There's copies of everything and everyone everywhere, so anything is in the Matrix.
I like
Moving on, Scotty.
Handled that character.
Bring back Mouse.
Gina Torres is quoted as to saying, not to be bitter or anything, but the people that are actually in the movie, I believe, died. And the people that aren't, didn't.
Someone's bitter.
So maybe that tells you. Well, maybe that tells you something about what this film's going to be, right?
Well, it's going to be about dead people.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that tells you something about what's actually happening in this world. Maybe.
Sure.
Good point.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. And we've been having this conversation, and it's always been sort of the rolled up newspaper that we've been using during this conversation. None of us have seen this movie. None of us know what this movie's going to be about.
Right.
Everything is going to be in service to the story. So Gina Torres, and previously we were discussing how Lawrence Fishburne is like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just not in it.
Yeah,
but we've got a younger version of him, so there's no reason why we might not see an older version at some point. I mean, we don't know anything. Yeah.
If there's more sequels, they could always bring him back.
Sure.
The idea that these really small bit supporting characters from the films are like upset that they're not coming back. It's like, well, like the Gina Torres character. It's like you had one scene or two scenes in Reloaded and like one scene in Revolutions or whatever. Like, why do you expect that? Oh, we have to bring you back. It's like,
why is this part of the article?
I know, that was
literally.
I know.
Gina Torres is angry for not acting.
Better.
Got to put a little bit of controversy in an article sometimes.
Well, the next point is Lana Wachowski's directing style wasn't all pre-planned. According to Neil Patrick Harris, the filming of The Matrix 4 was unlike other Hollywood action tentpoles of its kind, because Neil Patrick Harris has been in a lot of action movies. In an interview with Variety, the actor detailed that Lana Wachowski's unconventional filmmaking approach to a major studio production. As Harris explained, it didn't feel large because it felt like she was in her sweet spot, which it was filming on the fly, filming using natural light. Sometimes you'd sit around for an hour waiting for the clouds to clear, and then you'd quickly film. What Harris is describing sounds more like the production of 1917 or The Revenant and less like a studio franchise film. The actor continued, you'd film pages at a time in 30 minutes and then be done. You would think that a giant movie would be 100% storyboarded, animatics, and we'd be checking off shots. I think she lived that before 3 times over, and I would suspect that she wants to do things her own way now. It wasn't often that you felt that you were doing something gigantic because she made it feel very intimate. Well, that's
Scotty, you need to take it easy on Neil Patrick Harris. He may not be in a lot of action movies, but he does know his way around tent poles.
I was gonna say actually. Sorry, I got it wrong. It wasn't Seth Green that's gonna be in the Commando remake. It's Neil Patrick Harris. That's how he.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's the tie-in.
That's the big. Oh, spoiler alert, everyone.
Well, not to be dismissive, but like Neil Patrick Harris has had a long career on Broadway and stage productions and whatnot.
Sure.
He has been in films. Like the dude was in what's it called?
Harold and Kumar.
He played himself 3 times.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
And he has been in like I don't mean to
Doogie Howser rules.
Doogie Howser.
If you want to make a good Commando tie-in, just give Bill Duke a role in the movie. He makes everything better.
Amen. Yes.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Bill Duke does make everything better.
He does.
And bad motherfucker. Yeah.
But yeah, no, the only reason, maybe it's an interesting style because he was expecting something bigger on the Matrix 4 set, but the direction was more intimate and more what he was used to, or not something that he expected. But still, it's an interesting take, and also, thank you for the Doogie Howser reference.
This is adding to my anticipation even more. I'm trusting in her and them because she's doing things a little bit differently than to be expected and everything. And that kind of creates a little bit of unease. It also creates a little bit of, ooh, we're doing something dangerous or we're doing something different. Yeah, so I'm kind of liking this. Now,
yeah, me too.
I would also like to point out that it could suck.
Yes, it could be a dumpster fire, dude.
It could full on be a dumpster fire. There's no question about it.
I don't think it's going to be a dumpster fire. At worst, it's going to be a Green Lantern.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Oh,
who knows?
At worst.
I like to remain optimistic.
Speaking of the way she's doing things, that's kind of dovetails into the next item on the list, which is Lana Wachowski didn't use second units for action scenes. When The Matrix 4 was in production last April, so that answers a question from earlier in the show. Stunt coordinator Chad Stahelski revealed Lana Wachowski was breaking from typical Hollywood productions by directing all of the action scenes herself and not relying on second unit directing teams.
Okie dokie.
So that's cool too.
Interesting.
I like that.
Kind of goes with what you were saying, Rich. You know,
I like that as long as she's balancing everything out. She's doing it her way, like say when in the first Matrix when they break into the bank or whatever, and it's so freaking awesome. I'm presuming that she's doing scenes like that herself to make sure that she gets it exactly the way that she wants it.
Yeah, Stahelski goes on to say, what makes Lana so great is she directs her own action. We've had second unit directors on some of the Matrix films just because of the logistics involved. But of late, and especially on Matrix 4, she's directing her own action. The second units for them are mostly establishing shots, the B sides of some of the compositions for some locations. But Lana, she does her own action. She weaves it into the main unit stuff, which is why their stuff looks so good. He also described the Matrix 4 as incredibly fun, adding, I think if you're a fan of the original trilogy, you're going to love this. It's coming back with a vengeance. So, cool.
Okay.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah.
So far, so good, I think.
So, there's actually just 2 more. So, we'll just go through these really quick. The next one is just filming locations. Production on The Matrix 4 started in San Francisco on February 4th, 2020, and continued in Berlin, Germany later that year. Filming was stopped on March 16th, 2020 because of the pandemic, but production had resumed in Berlin by middle of August. The film was shot at Babelsberg Studio in Germany. Reports emerged after the movie wrapped production in the fall that the wrap party for the movie broke COVID safety laws. Oops. According to a report from The Guardian and German outlet Bild, approximately 200 people attended the Matrix party on the evening of November 11th at the legendary Babelsberg Film Studio. The studio maintains that the gathering was to shoot a scene in the movie and not for a rap party. Yeah. That's how you get away with that.
Well, think about it though. There's they've already had all these celebrations, like in Revelations or whatever. A mass party. They're filming it, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense in the movie. But even if not, I'd call it. Yeah, we're shooting a scene and have a rap party too.
Tax right off.
Because
Sure. But
and the last is
Makes
the release
sense.
date. Warner Brothers originally had The Matrix 4 on the release date calendar for May 21st, 2021, as Kat alluded to earlier in the program. Before the pandemic forced the studio to bump the sequel to April 1st, 2022. Matrix fans got good news in October 2020 when the studio announced the release was moving forward to December 2021 as a 2021 release. That's a lot of 2020s going on there.
ooh, see that?
The Matrix 4 will adhere to Warner Brothers' controversial hybrid release strategy of opening in theaters on the same day as it becomes available to stream in HBO Max for 31 days.
Wait,
God, I
what year?
wish-
What was the date of this article?
It was. August 18th.
There we are.
That's 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, happy we had to sing and everything.
It took me a while to look. So, the release date stuff. Okay, so this just goes back to my initial gripe here. My gripe on this show I've been griping about for weeks now about this. The fact that I think Warner Brothers needs to reevaluate their day and date. I get at the time they announced this in January or February of this year. The outlook was different than it is now. And it's okay to say 6 months later, hey, we're going to reevaluate. We're going to pull back on the day and date releases. It's okay to say it's not that you're wrong. They were right to do it in their minds for the beginning of the year, but now things have changed. And I think they're hurting their movies by keeping that day and date.
Yeah, like what they did in Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I agree 100%.
Really
but I heard the real reason they did it was because Toby Emmerich was a bit further down on the chopping block to be leading the streaming end of things, and he knew AT&T had favored streaming, which is why they bought it in the first place. They thought, oh, we'll launch a giant streaming service, and that'll improve our stock points. And he figures, that the best way of doing that will be to do the day and date streaming thing, even though he didn't really talk about it with the rest of the studio. He had the authority, he just did it. So
I've heard the same thing, and I guess it's depending on who you believe. I wouldn't put it past Toby Emmerich to just be like that and do exactly what you just said, Kat.
Yeah, because like you said,
he's not making the greatest decisions in the world. But
it's clear that even if these movies are driving up subscriptions, unless they worked out other revenue sharing with the creators like they did with Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman 84.
Right.
Because if they did that, then fine. Then they can put them on, and then it won't matter if the movies fail in that regard. But just don't hold it against movies like Dune later if they don't make money and try and say, "Oh, sorry, we're not going to give you a sequel that didn't make money." It's like, well, then that'd be your fault, So
it's like they're calling the Suicide Squad a bomb already.
But as we've seen with the statement from Disney themselves as identifying the streaming business model as a response to a global pandemic, and how dare you be so insensitive as to not recognize that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yes, though. If they
no-win situation,
they wouldn't put any of their movies at theaters. They would have put all of them on streaming. So that's all hogwash.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's also showing that you're not turning your back on the entire distribution industry all at the same time. Like everything was shuttered.
Well, at the time, I think it was
don't close the homeless shelter as soon as it gets cold.
Like I said, at the time they made a decision. Why? The reason behind that decision, is probably contestable, and that's fine. But they made the decision. I think everybody was like, okay, that's fine, good. But You don't look like you have egg on your face if 6 months later you reevaluate. It's okay to say, okay, this isn't working now. We're going to change. But to be so rigid and say, no, we're going to stay the whole year no matter what is silly, in my opinion.
Or reevaluate for certain titles, you know?
Sure.
Like a movie, like certain titles might be something that, most people probably wouldn't go out and see this kind of movie. Whereas a movie like Dune, or The Matrix 4, like those are movies people will probably go out to theaters to see. But if it's a small movie like, the Reminiscence movie they just released on HBO Max, that's probably not a movie. Reviews aside, I don't think there was anything interesting in the marketing that would have driven people out to theaters to see that,
I agree. I agree with that. And it's okay to pick it. I think it's okay to pick and choose titles that you think are going to do better if they don't have a day-and-day release.
And they're kind of already doing that in the sense that all of these films they've put on Max all are put out in 4K, but but when they put them out on physical media, some of them get 4K and others only get Blu-ray. And I don't know if that's because maybe it measures viewership, how they make that decision. I don't know, but if they're going to be willing to pick and choose in the home media format, then why not pick and choose which one gets a day and date?
Well, and Kat, if I can ask a question, like streaming 4K and physical media 4K are two different resolutions anyway, right?
It's different. It's the same resolution. The problem is that when you put something on like a digital streamer, there's a lot of compression.
Yeah, so the bit rate. The bit rate I think is different too.
So the same file they could just as easily put on disk and it'll look better versus it's not like they would have to do a completely separate transfer of higher quality or anything like that. So
I'm just asking if the fidelity of the image and sound is better if you got it on a physical medium anyway.
Yes, it's always better if you got it. It's better if you got it on physical media. It's not that they're using a lesser version though for digital. It's just that by nature, when you put something on a server like that, it's going to compress your audio and your visual and your data.
Cool.
The Richard, do you want to? Did you want to read a bit of your review before we go on to see what the chat is talking about today?
Yeah, absolutely. This is from my 1999 issue of my magazine, Nymphs and Satyrs. It says the most controversial issue ever. And I say that for more reasons than one. All right, so I wrote this in summer of 1999. I think I just got back from a spiritual adventure up in Alaska. So let me read this. The Matrix, Movie Review and Philosophy by R. Wilson. Much of the recent hype in the film industry has been about Star Wars Episode 1. But let's not forget about the first sci-fi flick of the year, The Matrix. This film is very much a roller coaster, visually and intellectually. There are several ways in which to perceive this film. Many people continually rave about the magnificent special effects and computer imagery utilized to tell the story. Others find themselves wrapped up in the intense story of a young man who finds the answer to the questions that have haunted his subconscious mind. Of the many questions that emerge in this movie, the most outstanding is, what if the world in which we live here and today is actually an illusion, a programmed reality that is hiding us from the truth? In the film, Neo is played by Keanu Reeves. He lives as a computer programmer by day and an eccentric hacker by night. During his adventure as a hacker, Neo has become enthralled with the question, what is the Matrix? After years of knowing and feeling inside that something was not right, Neo receives a message that all of his questions are about to be answered. Not long thereafter, he meets up with he knows as a known terrorist, Morpheus, by Larry Fishburne. Morpheus has been observing Neo for a very long time, watching his growth and awareness heighten. Apparently, machines had taken over as artificial intelligence become more sentient. The reality in which Neo had been living was entirely created by machines, as electrical impulses wired into his and everyone else's captive brain. Machines had created a complex world to occupy the human race while they continued to utilize our body energy for power. A few humans had escaped and began fighting for survival. The actual date would be about 2020 AD. To 2200 AD. The world is trashed to la-di-da-di-da-da-da. All right, so that's just all about the plot. Let me get into the actual review part here.
Well, if you're gonna yada 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 all over your own article,
You gotta
I don't
yada
know.
all over yourself. Come on.
Well, we know the story. That's the thing. I just wanted.
Would you-
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of regurgitating what we already knew.
Would you
Yeah.
like to go on?
Just a little bit. Let me actually get into something that we didn't know. The Matrix is in fact the world that has been pulled over our eyes. In the movie, computers have developed the Matrix to hide the truth. Machines grow humans in fields and use electromagnetic energy as fuel. Morpheus offers Neo training, and they go on their journey. With proper awareness, these rebels are able to perform unbelievable feats of strength and speed. The only problem is the Matrix has developed agents to fight and uphold its justice. Agents are part of the Matrix itself and seem to have a collective understanding. They appear to look like Secret Service agents with suits and dark sunglasses and a severe lack of expression, yet they have the ability to bend the rules of anything natural. Their primary function is to maintain order within the Matrix and prevent the truth from being released. Throughout the film, outstanding effects used to illustrate the story. People bending their bodies around bullets, walking on walls, and fighting in awkward positions. There is also a great high-energy soundtrack featuring some of the hottest performers today: Marilyn Manson, Prodigy, Ministry, Rammstein, and Rob Zombie, to name a few. The Matrix was written and directed by Andy and Larry Wachowski, the brilliant team behind who also created the film Bound. Bound is a trip all in its own, and two women, Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, who fall in love with each other, foil the mob. The Wachowskis, I am going to slightly edit now. The Wachowskis are slowly becoming synonymous with films with a striking edge. The Matrix is set to be to be the first in a sci-fi trilogy. Entertainment Weekly featured the film in issue 480 on April 9th, 1999. The magazine featured a behind-the-scenes look at the production and everything. The review showed less to be expected from the film. Apparently, the story did not make a huge impact on writer Lisa Schwartzman, who writes from the somewhat typical approach that stereotypical Keanu Reeves as the kid who says dude and hang loose. Sure, the actor has had his good films and bad ones, and that's the way it goes. I personally enjoyed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Point Break, and Johnny Mnemonic. Of course, I love most of his movies. In her belittling attempt to describing the plot, the author also wrote the following: Reeves and Fishburne can flip and scramble all they want, but to an audience here for a spectacle, flipping and scrambling demonstrations don't raise the pulse in this convoluted yet rudimentary yarn. The moral of the Matrix, I think, is that people who spend too much time staring at the computer screen and not enough time enjoying healthy physical activity like kung fu are susceptible to brainwash. So I kind of wanted to get to that point where we could see
Isn't that what we're doing right now?
a bitchy review about the Matrix. I'll put the rest of this up there. There's like a page and a half left. I'm losing my voice. But the rest of it, I kind of go into more of a comparisons to, like I was saying earlier, Buddhism and various spiritual religions and everything. But isn't it crazy, though, to think of the people who were bitching back then saying, oh, this is dull, this is rudimentary?
Yeah. Rudimentary was that's just not a word I'd ever associate with the Matrix.
Rudimentary, big word.
I've had so many conversations about the ideas presented in the Matrix, like many a back seat, many a barbecue, many a fire pit, that I've just been sitting around and be like, what is reality? And it's eventually you have a conversation about it and you're just like, I have an analogy. What if we're in the Matrix? And that sparks a conversation. What do you think, Tony?
Well, you know what? I think, you know what? It's more complex than your average Hollywood blockbuster, but it's no holy mountain, is it?
No.
It's rudimentary when you put it up against something that is genuinely out there, right? It's
Primer.
like yeah, or 200 Motels. It's 200. I can never remember if it's 200 or 500, but Frank Zappa's 200 Motels. I can edit it in my brain later. Yeah, or like a Forbidden Zone or stuff like that. Stuff that is genuinely,
challenging.
Exactly, and so I can see that. I can see thinking it's reasonably rudimentary, but but when you put it up against your average summer blockbuster, it is pretty complex.
So, the only counter I would say to that is at that time, these kind of issues were really only being talked about in public, like on the Art Bell show.
Correct.
You know what I mean? On his radio program, they weren't
coast to coast. Yep.
Yeah, they weren't mainstreamed by any means. So.
Well, and also it came out the same year as The Phantom Menace. One was PG and the other one was R.
I have a feeling the people talking about it on the Art Bell show weren't doing so for deeply philosophical reasons.
Yeah, no, right.
Actually they were.
That's kind of because my roommate would listen to Art Bell all the time, and I had nothing about nothing negative. I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens. Like da. But yeah, Steve's right.
But it's not just a ghost and aliens. I mean, you had scholars on the show talk about things too.
No. Don't let me. Yeah. No, the show wasn't full of quacks all the time.
Yeah. Not all the time.
Not 98%, right?
95, 98. Well, I'll give you
2%.
All right, there were some quacks.
But there weren't serious. But nobody was talking about these kind of issues in mainstream media at all. So, or if it was very rare back then.
Yeah, The Matrix really brought up a lot of like introspective in various people, and over the years, we've had hundreds of documentaries that are trying to explain the spirituality or the science behind the Matrix and everything. All this and everything. It's ultimately up to your own beliefs and whatnot, because it's almost like modern politics and stuff. You can't sit in the same room with your crazy uncle and have a logical conversation because things are just so extreme, and the ideas in the Matrix may not fit for everybody.
Well, unfortunately, we can't tell you what the Matrix is.
No,
That's
have
right.
to. We have to belabor it over and over again.
You have to see it
over and over.
It's we can't. Yeah, it's not. Well, we can tell you what the Matrix is. I mean, really. I mean,
well, what is it?
Ignorance is bliss.
That's pretty close to truth, isn't it? I mean, it's the world isn't what you think it is. It's and this again, the whole Art Bell thing, or obviously nowadays, Alex Jones will venture into this territory. Alex Jones obviously slightly less insane than the stuff you used to get on Art Bell, but only
I don't know. Way more insane.
He's way worse than Art Bell.
I mean, Art Bell had to call Jones out when he went too far.
Jones gets violent. That's what I hate.
Yeah, Jones, and the crazy thing about Jones is that he's clearly psychotic, right? But then he's selling all these products that make people that he's trying to make people like him. So he's selling all these crazy testosterone products.
I was gonna say, fun fact: since Art Bell broadcasts out of Pahrump, Nevada, that's why Tim Burton in Mars Attacks had the aliens land there first.
Nice.
I vaguely recall that. I think I heard that. That's awesome.
Yes, Art Bell broadcasts. So he says, "Oh, we got to have him landed there."
Nice. Yeah.
Before we go further down the rabbit hole of insanity, we were talking about the Matrix.
Yes.
Well, and I had to step out just for a second because I have no idea who this Art Bell fellow is.
That's fine. He's a radio host, longtime radio host that with all the
It's
they,
coast to
covered
coast.
aliens and
Ghosts and
UFOs,
aliens.
ghosts and demonic possession and all kinds.
Like
of,
Top 40 AM?
If
yeah,
it
it's
helps,
basically. I wouldn't say top 40, but yeah, AM. There was no music. It was just a talk show.
Oh,
if it helps,
I think it is 8:40 a.m. I think that's
if it helps, there's a comedy character, there's a comedic character in the UK called Count Arthur Strong, and he kind of looks exactly like him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Okay.
the Midnighter at times, but not.
All right, let's.
Well, Do you
Let's
guys
go
want
to
to
the
talk
chat,
any more
shall we?
about The Matrix 4, or shall we go and see what everyone who has been listening to us wants to say?
what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take some really good pictures and then give them to Steve to put up on the website, the Fantasmagorium,
Cool.
of my article, because there is more. It's better you'd read it on your own, I guess.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, no, I'd like to read your review, dude. It's really nice to be able to hear your article read by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I
it'd be
didn't
you.
stutter and everything.
Well, no, it's fine.
You're
I would
fine.
rather
You're
hear it in
fine.
your
Good
voice.
job.
That was amazing, man. Thank you
But
so
I have no
much.
problem putting it up on the site either, so
just
people
get
can go
Dieter to
check
do
it
it.
out.
Get Dieter to read my article?
Yeah. Who doesn't love hearing Dieter's
Right?
voice?
All right. It sounds like Phil has a crush on Dieter.
Sitting in a tree. Okay.
All right, so-
well,
Scotty, we do have a couple of we do have a new subscriber we want to shout out.
Stian Brand, thank you so much for subscribing. And,
Sends in a
his
super chat sticker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Super
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the delightful time we had doing the thing with the PGS All Stars. That was amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Oh, here we go. Tim's talk. Hey, Tim.
Tim!
Hey, Tim.
Come here.
Hey,
didn't-
there's that poster of that new movie, and it's freaking the guy who plays Kylo Ren. It's not Tim, but it looks just like Tim on my computer or on my.
Oh, no way.
I'm serious. It's a big cover shot of his face. Looks just like him.
Oh, is
Annette?
that Sparks movie?
No, Annabelle or no Anna.
Annette
Annette.
Annette.
Annette. Yeah.
on the Amazon. Yep.
Freak me the
No
fuck out because I just turned on my computer. My eyes are still. Whoa! What is Tim doing here?
Right.
Anyway,
I have him on my wall.
You should subscribe to Tim's channel, and he will have much more pleasurable experiences for you in store.
we love
Ben.
Tim.
What is Tim doing here? Anyway, Tim says the normal kid every day would take Flintstones vitamins. Meanwhile, little Timmy here took the red pill every day.
Every day. Yep.
Good man. Good man.
Oh yeah. Annette is the Sparks film.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, the Sparks film.
Yeah, it's the film because I mean Sparks tried to make a film many times over the decade. They tried to make Mai the Psychic Girl in the 90s. They even tried to make a film with Jacques Tati in the 70s. And this is the first time that one of their film over the course of 40 years. This is the first film project that's actually got off the ground. And yeah.
All right, cool.
Matt Latham says, "Greetings, fellow nerds." Ahoy, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Aloha, mate.
Todd Michael. Hey, Todd Michael. What's going on? I heard you had some horrible chili con carne. Does anybody actually have Showtime? Asking for a friend. I don't.
I've never had Showtime.
I
No,
will
I had
definitely.
I had
I've seen some
Showtime.
of their streams will end up on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had Showtime when Dexter was running, and after that, no.
I got stuck with Showtime once. I really wanted Cinemax again.
Skin of man.
Easy,
The only
Tiger.
Showtime, the only stuff from Showtime I really watched was, Dexter and Penn and Teller's Bullshit. I think they were the only
Yeah.
two things I really used to
Oh,
watch.
wasn't Dead Like Me? Was that Showtime or was that HBO?
I think it was HBO.
It was
Oh.
HBO.
But they also had
pushing it
Billions on Showtime was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Billions. Yeah, of course. So that's on Amazon in the UK.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
Todd
think
Michael says, "Oh, sorry." Todd Michael says, odds of Trinity being Ghost in the next Matrix somehow? Yeah,
Force
Right?
Ghost.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Force Ghost.
Force Ghost. Tim says, so they're retconning, or are they clones or variants?
Your
Yes.
guess is as good as ours.
Is it a replicant? Is she a replicant? Nah.
Darius Munchausen, ahoy, Darius, hail.
Aloha,
I saw
bro.
you were on Captain Cockney Spock the other day, and hey, moving on. Tim says, to be honest, I don't really care, and The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. Well,
Yeah.
I've heard him say that before.
like of all time? Wow.
Mine too, honestly.
I think that's one of the ways that we bonded, actually, was talking about The Matrix.
Tim's Talk asks if is the Animatrix metal? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is
Yes.
pretty. It's pretty
Very
fucking
metal.
metal. Yeah. Tim says still 4 months, plenty of time. They also fly now. Oh, they fly now.
Oh, God.
Tim says Lawrence Fishburne.
GAWD.
Tim says Lawrence Fishburne will be missed. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
And Tim says Priyanka Chopra. That's an interesting choice. I'm not
Wait.
familiar.
Isn't she married now to
Married to his Jonas brother.
Joe Jonas? Okay. And their career, or the band's career, are going off in a more positive. I don't give a flying hoot about the Jonas Brothers, really, and a lot of the pop stars. Though it's interesting when they get out of their mode and they start progressing and start doing other things. And I mean, he married a beautiful woman who's very successful, and he's doing really well with his acting now. So that's good.
Is it
And she
weird
just
that
got
whenever you say
Scotty.
the Jonas Brothers, I automatically think Hanson?
Oh, really? Yeah, it is
Hanson.
weird. But
Bop, 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 bop.
she
Stop!
just
We'll
got
get copyrighted. We'll get copyrighted.
she just got a new gig returning to Bollywood film. So she's going to be appearing in a new Bollywood film.
You know
It
what?
was just announced
On that note,
this week.
we're going to see a lot more Bollywood stuff too. By the way, I think they're on the forefront. As a matter of fact, you just reminded me.
Yeah, but they're too long. The movies are too long.
There's always a dance number.
I've got
Right.
horror movies, and they always have to stop and dance in the middle of the freaking Indian horror, the Bollywood horror movies. I'm not kidding.
I wouldn't mind.
I know.
I wouldn't mind seeing that,
It'll be-
honestly.
Yeah, that
See, well-
Bollywood version of Thriller is amazing.
How long?
No,
is it?
that is true.
Amazing.
That's true.
Speaking
So
of
imagine like a
amazing-
ghost story.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Imagine like The Exorcist, and every 15 minutes they have to dance. I'm not kidding. I've got these videos that my wife had left
it's
here.
it's like a rule. I think it's a law that you have to have a dance number in every Bollywood film.
Yeah, because there's two different Indian cinema. There's the Bollywood type where you do have all the singing and dancing, which is required for funding, and then there's the non-Bollywood Hindi cinema of just like the other regular films. So,
Right.
but the Bollywood is the most popular, which is why it's very dominant over there.
It's a
And let's welcome
stereotype.
Kyrie.
Hey!
Who's this guy?
I'm in my
Hey.
car in Oslo.
Hey,
How was the 35 millimeter Ravenous screening?
It was pretty great, I have to tell you. It was really fun watching the movie in a theater with people.
Yeah.
I've never done that. And the print was pretty good, so it was a good experience, very good sound. So I
Are
had,
you going to
had a
do a
great time.
full video? Are you going to do a full video of your experience?
No, it's enough Ravenous on the one show. I don't think most people are interested in me seeing Ravenous on 35 mil in some. Yeah, you are. I mean, we can chat about it. I don't think there's a
Those two
show
guys
in it.
there.
We'll have
No.
a Zoom.
I just saw you guys were still on, so I thought I'd do a guest pop-in. Hello.
You want
Well,
to you want to
thanks for
hang
coming
out
by,
when we,
dude, for sure. You're always welcome.
you want to hang out and do the chat with us?
Yeah, I can stay for a little while. I'm in a parking house in Oslo. Look.
I was going to
Oh.
ask, are you driving?
I hope you're
I'm
not
not
driving.
driving, no.
Parking
even
house,
even
parking
in
garage.
even in Norway, you're not allowed to do Zoom calls while driving.
Yeah, right.
Authoritarian bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Todd Michael says Speed Racer is amazing. Of course it is.
never seen it.
Agreed. And Todd Michael goes on, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. It helps us fight evil. Especially subscribe. Pete Dencott says, stumbles in, holding hand to forehead. What day is it?
That's how I always start my streams.
It's
Yeah,
Friday.
What year is it?
Oh, hey, gang.
Oh, hey, gang. Pete says, the first I heard of The Matrix was behind the scenes thing on Sky Movies, and I thought, meh. My mate came around sometime later. We got wasted, and he said, put this film on. Blew my mind, man.
That's
nice.
cool, dude.
Yeah, that is cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm such a bad person. The first time I saw Matrix was downloaded version.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Did you-
fits the purpose.
Well, Richard, you saw The Matrix in theaters. Did everybody else see The Matrix in theaters? I did not.
4 times.
And Sergey
I
not.
did.
4
I
times.
saw it. Yeah.
There's some
Okay.
weird irony if you downloaded The Matrix to watch The Matrix.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I did see it in theaters as well, but a few months later.
But
No,
you
just
got
think about
torrents back
how
in the day?
intense that is. Like, you literally, doesn't matter what pill you
No.
took, you downloaded it.
No, Richard. It's not weird to download The Matrix to watch The Matrix. It's weird to download The Matrix to watch The Golden Girls.
Right.
Well, I used to have the Matrix thing as my screensaver, and I might try to find that again, and maybe add some hidden symbols in there. Maybe some Fantasmagoriums and some
There you go.
D. Richards and Two Bads and stuff in there.
I can remember wanting the shitty Nokia phone.
Ah,
Oh, I want that shitty Nokia phone. Pete says philosophical is the term I would go with rather than religious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does have a lot of spiritual, religious undertones, though.
Or
Absolutely.
For the record, though, I do not condone and I do not subscribe to organized religion. Howsoever, I do agree with philosophy and observations of various spiritual conversations.
Pete says Hugh Grant was good in Cloud Atlas. Thought it was a decent film. Okay, Pete. There are plenty of people here who
I'm a
agree
fan
with
of
you.
Cloud Atlas. I like Cloud Atlas.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
get
no,
that
it was a
movie then.
movie about reincarnation. Absolutely.
Yep. And that's actually kind of where my review of The Matrix goes, is it does talk about reincarnation and stuff, so it'll be interesting when you guys actually freaking read it. Because I didn't even think about I didn't know about Cloud Atlas when I wrote that in 1999. I'm gonna watch it
If
again.
you had, you could have been rich today.
Hmm?
Something along those. I
He
wish.
is rich today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
Not
rich.
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll always be rich. And that's
Yeah.
you can tell by the
Well-
tone of my voice.
Mm.
I've never heard that one before.
Pete says perfume is indeed a masterpiece.
Good movie.
Agreed.
And Pete keeps going. Has anybody ever sat through Ghost Story starring Casey Affleck? No.
No,
No.
I kind of want to though.
Not-
That's 3
yes,
hours long.
yes, I have.
Did you?
And
Is it good?
I don't remember any of it. I have seen the whole film.
okay.
It's 3 hours, isn't it? Like 3 or 5 or 6?
Yeah. I think my brain turned off about like 3/4 of the way through. But then again, that happens when in a 2-minute Saturday Night Live sketch when Casey Affleck's in it. So yeah.
I like
Well,
the
it's interesting he brings it up, Ghost Story here during The Matrix, and we're talking about Cloud Atlas, because all of this is like existential or like spiritual or otherworldly or in the Matrix, like
philosophical even.
philosophical or technological. ghost story fits in there. I heard it was a cougher. I think that's cough.
No. This one's for me. Todd Michael is ribbing my bones. Sorry, Cat.
You skipped 3 comments. I'm looking at it on the side here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of editorializing going on. Don't worry, we got it.
Okay.
Todd Michael says, cough, Dallas, cough. Taught us that you are only a shower dream away from coming back to life. I had to read that comment twice because, like, in my head before I said it out loud, because I thought instead of shower, you said showrunner.
If I do something stupid, I'll always go and stand in the shower and hope that when I get out, the whole season will just have been a fucking dream.
Yeah.
I was 8 years old and I had a shirt that says "I shot JR." I remember that shirt. Mom, we were talking about it like a couple months ago for whatever gosh awful. We were going through her pictures. I shot JR. And it's a little 8-year-old tiny little thing, you know.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny.
Todd Michael says to the Richard, I assume, a spiritual adventure. I want to hear about that.
All right, man.
Well, but you did. You gave you.
I gave the review. I didn't actually get into my spiritual philosophical thoughts because that's part 2. But I didn't want to read the whole darn thing.
Yeah,
fair enough. I believe the term is "leave them wanting more."
That's right.
Pete says a mate of mine used to do the monitor sound for The Prodigy. Last I knew, he was doing the stage sound for Muse. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, I would expect
that's
nothing
nice.
less from a man with an axe.
Hey, who said that?
Pete
Pete?
Caught.
Pete and Cat.
Yeah, done caught.
It's pronounced like con.
Yes.
Unless it happens to you, then it's difficult to believe in the supernatural. I've had a few experiences, one of which made me a true believer, not in a Stan Lee kind of way, for real, I assume. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I suppose when you brush up against the supernatural, it does alter your perception. I haven't had that, so. Todd Michael says, fake Alex Jones on the Howard Stern show is a great parody of him. Oh, okay.
Oh, fake Alex Jones, is that Bill Hicks?
No, way before. Bill Hicks is way before, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke because a lot of people say that
Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Yeah.
Is actually Bill Hicks. Yeah.
Trying.
Like the Tony Clifton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the beat goes on. Hey, the beat goes on. Thank you for hanging out.
Battalion in the house.
Someone should do a midnight stream tonight. No Rob, so you'll get some views.
I think there's somebody on this stream named Black Phillip Alvarez that does a midnight stream on Friday nights.
The Insomniac Hour.
It is.
Yes, sir.
So tune in.
What time is that?
Midnight my time. I may do it like an hour earlier so I can see if I can try to get more people on.
I mean, is it like at 10 p.m. or like 11 p.m.?
Yeah, so that would be 10 p.m. My time on the Pacific time.
1 a.m.
So about 2
Eastern.
hours earlier than Rob usually goes live.
So it'd be 1 a.m. my time, Eastern time. Okay,
Yeah, Eastern,
it's
yes.
Central because he's Central, right?
Yeah, I'm Central. So it's midnight my time.
Midnight.
I will never amount to anything. Time zones alone has me
they're confusing.
stumped.
We're trying to do our best.
Well, what day is it for you, Terje?
It's still Friday. It's 10 to
Today.
midnight in Oslo
10
town.
to midnight. Okay.
10 minutes to midnight. Awesome.
Pete says beats. Black Phillip usually does one, but because of time zones, I'm usually sleeping. Well, it's the midnight, Pete.
It's the midnight, man. Come on.
And the beat goes on.
Long ways or sideways?
And the beat goes on and says, nice. Is his channel just called Black Phillip Alvarez?
Yes.
With one L.
Yeah, with one L.
Yeah, don't confuse him with White Phillip. He's we don't like White Phillips.
No.
Or 2L Phillip.
2L. Nobody likes the 2L Phillip.
There was a troll in another show. Not going to say what, but they were they used the 2L, and
Yeah, you told me about
Pete says, which channel is PGS All Stars on? I would assume it's going to be on the Burnett Network. It's just not.
I would assume it's on the PGS.
Showtime.
Well,
no, it's going to be. Yeah.
This is the Philip. This is the Richard talking of the Burnett Network, getting the name of the channel wrong. I just want to make that perfectly clear.
Excuse me. Postage Singularity is the
PGS channel.
the Burnett Network is the overall company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Robservations, the show where it will be on, it'll be on the Burnett Network.
Right, but that's still the Burnett Network YouTube channel. There is no PGS YouTube channel.
Right.
No.
But all the Facebooks and everything are PGS.
so when it does show up, you'll be able to see the PGS All Stars on the Burnett Network.
I'm
Or
hoping
you'll
to
end
get a
up watching
message.
tennis.
I'm hoping to get a message like any second about confirmations for when the PGS All Stars are going to start, because Rob is going to be leaving pretty darn soon, and we need to make sure that everything is edited.
In fact, somebody may have been working and will continue to work through the weekend editing a specific 5-part series that a couple of people on this show have already put in the can.
Don't you?
Oh,
guys have
are
an
you doing
NDA
our
or
He-Man shit?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
there
we go then.
No one wants to do a He-Man size shit. That would be very unpleasant.
That's a That's a huge shit.
Especially if it's dry.
That's a huge shit. Yeah, I actually started working on it this morning.
Good. Okay. So,
I'll do
am
my
I
best to
sending
get it.
you the artwork then, or did he already give you my artwork?
No, I don't
All
know,
right,
dude. All I'm doing, we'll
We'll talk
about
after
that.
that. Anyway, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's Steve's trying his best to try and keep the waffle down, because I've got to admit it was a pretty tight show for the most part, but there was a little bit of waffle, mainly from my side.
No.
The beauty of
You are the in-house waffle maker.
Oh God, yeah.
Did you put on the mask?
He did it
Well-
once. Not spoiler.
spoilers.
Oh, that one. No, sorry. I thought you were talking about the ones with the zips. No, I didn't put that one on. No, not this
Todd
time.
Michael.
Maybe next time.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to promote that entire 3-episode arc that we had together when we were talking about the Masters of the Universe. You should, if you'd like a primer on the,
We can.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
primer on the knowledge of.
We're going to talk about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we promote it. Yeah.
No, I'm not asking for promotion. I'm just
No.
saying that
We've already done
a
it.
wealth of knowledge. Anyway, Todd Michael says Turgay's full reviews and exclusive on his OnlyFans page.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, OnlyFans banned all
Porn,
all
no more
X-rated porn and stuff on OnlyFans. So sorry, Scott and Turgay, no more.
But they're still
Yeah.
allowing nudity.
Yeah,
yeah.
tasteful nudity.
Nudity is not porn, Scott. Nudity is not porn. I know you live in the 1950s, but nudity and porn are not the same thing.
Is your address still Pleasantville?
Yeah.
Pleasant to be.
Pete
Pleasantville.
says Ghost Story is
Porn?
dead good.
Porn?
Oh, wait.
Porn doesn't require nudity. Porn just requires a hole, right?
No.
Three of them.
Well,
Well, no, I don't know.
all depending on
So He-Man.
the coconut.
You do. You put the lime in the coconut, you drink them both up.
Okay, gents. I think we've had enough fun for one day. What do you think? And
Yeah.
This is starting to smell like bananas and regrets.
right. It is.
Oh no, mine's mostly smelling like sweat and mildew.
This parking house smells of urine and shame.
Yeah. Right.
No, I don't. Sadly, I don't have a lot of shame. So it's mostly just the car. I don't know how to say the word car park.
Car park.
Cat
That's
pack.
what
Garage. Garage.
Park parks. Park
Yeah.
parks.
Put my cat in a cat pack.
Cat
Garage.
snack.
All right. Come
Well,
on.
I'm gonna
Let's
drive.
all-
I'm gonna drive home alone, listening to some cool progressive rock tunes, mans.
Okay, man.
If you,
Thanks for
oh,
dropping in, man. Thank you for coming here.
Yeah.
Good on Thursday. Can't wait for next Thursday when you're on all over Duck World.
oh, yeah.
Wackaroonies.
Okay. Yeah, next Thursday, catch the Cult Classic Movie Corner, where Terje will talk about the Howard the Duck movie with a special guest.
Yes.
All right, Terje, we'll see you, buddy.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Ahoy.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Who's next? We're going to start dropping like flies.
Well, the
Kat-
Richard's already. Yeah, no, I'm just.
Kat,
Just
you,
gone.
No.
Before you go, do you want to promote your show and where people can find you online?
Who?
Kat?
No.
Yeah.
I guess that's a no.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it froze for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday nights with Scott, Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Next week we'll be reviewing Thunderball, amongst other things.
And it
Very
strikes.
And where can people find you online?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh.
And where can people find you online, Kat?
You can find me on the Fantasmagorium show Wednesday nights with Scott on Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also check out her letterbox review.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
true. I'm
cool.
on Letterboxd. That's right. Letterboxd, Catherine Hook Slice 9.
Awesome. Okay,
Nice.
we'll see you soon. Have a good day. All right.
Regarding me, I'm not going to promote anything. I'll see you guys later.
All
If
right.
you'd like to
Bye.
find the Richard on Facebook, he is at Richard L. Wilson. He has a multitude of talents and communities that he has cultivated over the years. He has a wealth of knowledge. He has a bunch of stuff that you have never seen before, and you should definitely check it out. He is also one of the moderators on Robservations and across the Burr Network. Thank you so much
And
for
here.
being here.
And here.
And
And
here.
Yeah.
From what I just heard, he wrote this really bitchin' review of The Matrix, and you can check it out on the Fantasmagoriumshow.com. So thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll see
Thanks,
you soon.
everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, Tony, you're up next. Anything you want to promote or where people can
well,
find you online?
Obviously, no more OnlyFans. So sadly,
Oh.
that's not a thing anymore.
Bummer.
I'm going to have to move over to Twitch now, so that's the thing. But yeah, no, I do eventually intend to actually get my Twitch page up and running, but at the moment it's just it's I think it's twitch.com/Bunyan Snipe, but at the moment it's kind of dead. So these things happen.
Well, thanks for popping by, dude. We appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
See you, man.
Later.
All right, Black Phillip Alvarez, you have a show coming up tonight. Want to promote it and where people can find you online?
Yeah, subscribe to my channel, Black Phillip Alvarez. Make sure that's 1L, or else you would get Patrice O'Neill videos instead. So, but yeah, I do have a show tonight at midnight called The Insomniac Hour.
Nice.
Awesome.
So yeah.
All right, as always, it's great to have you here on Fridays, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you guys. Later.
All right, Scotty, that leaves you and me, buddy. I think we've had enough for today. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, put a fork in it. We out. Right?
I got business.
Yes, you do. All the matrices, all the matrices. I think. Is how you
Most
pronounce it?
importantly, I'm going to watch a second Renaissance 1 and 2.
Oh, there you go. Okay, awesome. So thanks everybody for coming, showing up for our Friday Free for All. Obviously catch us back here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, for the Fantasmagorium show proper. Like we said, Monday nights we have Set to Stun. Wednesdays we have Martini's Gadgets and Guns, and Thursdays we have the Cult Classic Movie Corner. So for Scotty R37, I am Steve Foley. Have a great day, everybody.
See you guys.